Hi everybody, this is Dr. Bell again, and we are talking about our last section of this module, Infant Toddler Social Emotional Development. So it's really important to know the foundations of social emotional development. I'm a really big social emotional development person. I feel that if you don't connect with your children, you cannot teach them well, and so in order to do that, you need to know how to understand their social and emotional development. In order to understand a 5-year-old social and emotional development, you need to be able to go back and look at how it developed in the infant toddler stages. So there are several big messages that I want you to get out of the module this time. In this section. So the first big message is bonding is important. We looked at attachment theory when we talked about developmental theories. Ainsworth and Bowlby, sorry, really did an important piece of work when they taught us how young children form attachments with others. Well, those attachments serve as foundational for later relationships, so including teacher-child relationship, peer-to-peer relationship, and even your marriage. So it's important to understand how that happened and how to facilitate it and how you can hurt it too. Eric Erickson said that the children in the infant toddler stage go from basic trust versus mistrust, where they learn that the world is a trustful place when you meet their needs on demand, to when they're toddlers, they go into autonomy versus shame and doubt. And in autonomy versus shame and doubt, they learned the world is a pretty decent place to live because my needs are being met, and so now I can venture out and try things on my own. That's the me do it stage. The trust versus mistrust is the needy, I need you, wah stage. The autonomy versus shame and doubt is the me do it stage. 2-year-olds are famous for this because they will want to tie their own shoe and they can't, so they get frustrated and you go to help them and then they say, no, me do it, and they get all upset at you for trying to interfere, and then they can't do it and they get frustrated and you try to help and they, no, me do it again, and that cycle just keeps on continuing. So I want to share a story about a baby that I knew that went through this particular stage, and it was kind of funny. She wanted to buckle her shoe, you know, the church shoes with the little buckles, and yeah, she was 2. And so she decided she was going to buckle her own shoe. And we had to go to church, and we were getting late. And so I picked her up like a football, walked her to the car, put her in the car, and we drove off to church. And of course she's screaming and crying because she wanted to do it. Wah, wah, wah. That girl cried all the way to church, all through church. I had to leave church early, cried all the way home. Guess what I did next Sunday? I woke her up at 7 in the morning, 3 hours before we had to go to church, and said, buckle your shoes, darling, we have to go to church. And you know, that little kid did it. She did it. Now her big sister makes her tie her shoes for her. So I did that to my child. Yeah, I know. I'm terrible. They'll write a book about me. Hope they get rich and buy me a pool. All right, so we'll enjoy the social emotional development module. You're going to learn about Erickson stages. Another person that's really important is Margaret Mahler. She taught us about individuation separation. And what she taught us is that children go through these stages. When a stranger enters the room, the baby uses what we call refueling to make sure they're still safe. And so securely attached children will look at their mom and go, hey, there's a stranger in here, and then if the mom's reaction is positive, they'll just keep playing. But if they have different types of attachment, they may even actually have to come over to the mom. And you'll see this from time to time. Toddlers will go off and play with their stuff, and then they'll bring it to mommy, let mommy touch it, not let her keep it, and then they'll take it away and go away again. That's refueling. And we need to respect infants and toddlers' stranger anxiety and separation anxiety that they have. They're natural, and they happen in the toddler stage. And it's hard on mommies and daddies to let their children go to childcare during this time, so we have to reassure them that this is a normal thing. And just because they loved the childcare center last month when they were with Miss Becky doesn't mean now that they're with Miss Susie that they hate the childcare center or that Miss Susie's beaten them. It's just that they've moved into that stage during toddlerhood.